Hello, and welcome to Why I Love Warhammer, the series where I go into an unscripted ramble about why I love something in this hobby. And today I'm going to do another video that's a little bit different. As you can see from the thumbnail, I'm combining Mass Effect and Warhammer 40,000 together, two of my favourite sci-fi franchises being melded into one. Now, the objective with this video is what models from the Warhammer range would you need to purchase to get the best start you can for kitbashing the entire Normandy crew. That's my intention here. That is the goal. And obviously, if you're doing the kit bashes and conversions, you're going to be swapping some bits out, adding green stuff, adding your own sculpted bits. But yeah, what we're trying to do is just get together the best semblance we can for the Normandy crew. If you want more unbridled positivity and weird videos like this, please feel free to drop me a like and subscribe, and drop a comment down below with what models you'd want to start with for your kit bashes for other sci-fi franchises. I would do Star Wars, but Star Wars has its own miniatures game. So I'm going to start out with Commander Shepard themselves. Commander Shepard is this brilliant soldier. Even if you don't choose the soldier background, they're still the best of humanity, and they are phenomenal in combat. They've got a lot of skill, and yeah, they are just the pinnacle of what humanity has to offer. So I've put them down as Cadians. You can have male and female Cadians, and it works just well, but these are the best of humanity, and that is what Commander Shepard is. So yeah, I'd be picking a Cadian to use as my starting point for Commander Shepard. I've grouped any that you see grouped together. It's because I'm using the same kit for their conversion for their kit bash. So here we have Jacob Taylor, Ashley, or as I refer to them as Vermeer Bait, and then Caden, the one who I always have survived to the end of Mass Effect 3. Again, these are just very good human soldiers. So once again, these are all Cadians. Again, just good human soldiers, very competent. That's what they are. Okay, Javic. Javic is a Prothean, the civilization before the humans and the Asari and such. This guy was very tricky to get any kind of kit bash together for, and I thought there wasn't any one model that I thought resembled Javic enough. So what I've done is I've actually suggested two things. Use a Cadian body, but then use the elf head from the Dead Marsh Spectres from the Middle-earth range of miniatures to use that for the head. It's a little bit wider at the top, and at the 28mm scale, I think it will make for a good Prothean head. Okay, Zed and James. My first thought was, well, they're human fighters. They should be going very firmly into the box of Cadians. But the thing is that Zed feels a bit too kind of battle-hardened and gnarled for that, and James Vega is huge. He's just got massive muscles, and it felt like they both needed to be distinct from the ones who are being represented as Cadians. So they're Chan Jungle fighters. Older sculpts, the kind of 80s action movie style characters, they just suit Zed and James better in my view. Thane was tricky, and for Thane you really need to emphasize, well, I really need to emphasize, you can paint Warhammer models however you want. This guy might be green, and the default color scheme for the model I've selected for him might not be green, but you can paint the model green, you can paint them to look exactly like Thane, and I just feel like it would work very well for him. Darkstrider from the Tower range. It's got the sniper, it's got the long rifle, it's got the basic heads there. I think this guy makes for a good thing. Tali. Tali is the character who, aside from the lore of aside from the fact that she can't really take off her helmet or come out of her suit because her immune system just can't hack it, the main things for me when trying to come up with a model to represent her in 40k, it's the mask. And with a mask like that, really, I went with one of these Eldari warlocks. The idea of the civilizations being on spaceships as well does lean into that a little bit more, but yeah, the mask for this just fits well for Tali in my view. Shave off, cut off the hair, file it down, and I think you've got a good Tali. There were other Eldari warriors that I thought could work, like the Guardians or the Ravagers, but I opted for this one in the end just because it's a prominent model. It's an HQ, so it fits a character. It fits the idea of being a named character a little bit more. Also, it comes as a pair, and the other half of the pair is used later on in the list. Okay, Jack. Now, Jack, very powerful psyker, but we're not trying to go for lore accurate. We're just trying to go for what might be good in terms of aesthetics. I also thought to get a version of Jack wearing as many clothes as possible, partially because I just like because it kind of coincidentally falls in with her character development over the course of the series. The kind of the more mature and more powerful and better friend she gets and is, the more clothes she's wearing. But also because I didn't want to just go for the most scantily clad version of the character possible and the most scantily clad 40k model I could. My family watch these videos, and I'm uncomfortable with even this much you'd see on the screen. For Jack, though, Kyria Draxus. Both bald, both psychers, both use alien tech. It just kind of works for me to make Jack into Kyria. Okay, Kasumi. Kasumi, the Master Thief, has a cool looking hood. Kasumi, for me, the other Eldari Warlock. Again, do something with the hair. You could probably use some green stuff to make a hood. But yeah, I think the Eldari work well for Kasumi. Okay, Garrus. Picking who Garrus should be represented by felt like a bit of a low-hanging fruit because, to me, it's just obvious he is a Kroot carnivore. I don't even think there's that much converting you need to do. Making one of these ones on the screen, kind of at the back right, where it's more sniper rifle-y, it just fits Garrus very well, and you can always paint the armor on him. Miranda was a tricky one because her whole shtick is what if a human, but better with better with the bionics, better with combat, and she's meant to be just objectively more attractive than a regular human woman in the lore of the games. So it felt a bit weird, a bit tricky to figure out who on earth should play her in a model form. I went with Inquisitor Greyfax. I just felt that the overall vibe of the model matched. Okay, Legion. Legion is possibly my favourite squad mate in Mass Effect, and so with a squad mate who is my favourite, that is entirely cybernetic and has a cool looking gun, I thought there is no better way to represent him on the field than with the Necron Warrior, my favourite my favourite faction, with a similar looking rifle and similar amounts of battle damage as well in the more recent sculpts. 3 Asari, Morinth, Samara, Liara, and Mordin, all on the same slide. And that's just because I think with green stuff for the kind of hair tentacles on the Asari and the correct paint and painting him up with the right color scheme for Morden, I genuinely think that all four could be represented by Tau ethereals. The general structure of the faces there, they just feel like the best fit model for me, to me. Okay, Grunt and Rex, my boys, and in the case of Grunt, my son. And I really wanted to find models for these guys that would be size appropriate, but I basically ended up going for the closest approximation that existed, even though these models are going to be significantly larger than their peers, although I'm pretty sure that is what Rex and Grunt would want. Tyranid Warriors. They've got the skull ridges, they've got the combat prowess. Just seal them up a bit so that you're not, so they're not wielding, so they don't have 4 arms, and shrink down that tail a lot. And yeah, these can be Krogan. Edie. Edie, I actually didn't use a 40k model for Edie. For Edie, I went with an Age of Sigmar model, just because Edie is so kind of skin tight. There's no other word for it. She's literally a robot, and there wasn't much wiggle room for things like clothes on her. So I've gone for these witch elves. Just replace the knives with some kind of sci-fi looking gun, paint them up to be all silver with the orange visor, and you've got Edie. Okay, the Normandy itself. The Normandy, is just as much a part of the crew as anyone else. You upgrade the ship in Mass Effect 2, just like you do loyalty missions for the crew. And so the ship that most closely resembled the Normandy is this Void Raven bomber from the Drukhari, the Dark Eldar range. They've got 2 similar planes, but this one had more missiles, which felt more true for the Normandy. Okay, final one. Jenkins, from the very first game, very first mission. And I couldn't think of anything better to represent him, the man who dies so soon in Mass Effect 1 that it's not even a spoiler to say that he dies. Citadel Skulls. And with that, I thank you very much for watching. And I hope you... And with that, I thank you very much for watching. And I hope you're having a really good day. Common question of the day is, what Warhammer models would you use as your starting points for another franchise you're a fan of? These are mine for Mass Effect, but maybe you've got others. And yeah, if you want to drop this video a like, I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe for more silly videos like this and more relentless positivity coming into your feeds. I've got a Patreon in the description. And with that, I hope you're having a really good day, and I'll see you next time.